morning, everyone. On behalf of the Northeast Earth Coalition, we welcome you to celebrate Earth Day. This is a beautiful day today, very meaningful. It's a community event, and we are happy to see so many friendly and lovely faces here. Let's start with our Councilor Russo. He will be reading the proclamation that the township approved. Bob.
Thank you, Jose. Can you hear me with this mask?
You can remove it.
I'll tell you, Councilor Baskerville's giving me advice on medical here, and they've got the fire chief with us, John Herrmann. But I came this morning to read a proclamation that hasn't even been passed yet, but we will pass it Tuesday night at our official meeting. But we wanted to get it today because today is the beginning of this celebration. And let me read this to you real quickly. It's whereas April 22nd marks the 51st anniversary of Earth Day, established in 1970, when 20 million Americans collectively called for greater protections of our land, air, and water resources of our nation. And whereas since the inception of this inspiring national movement, New Jersey has been at the forefront of addressing environmental issues, the harms, and developing creative solutions. It was the third state to establish a major state agency to administer aggressive environmental and conservation efforts. And whereas the Township of Montclair, through its elected officials, past and present, government employees, boards and committees, civic organizations, educational institutions, volunteer groups, like so many of you, faith community, the others work to create an awareness of the natural resources in our Montclair and Essex County community. These groups initiate and encourage programs which engage all citizens in protecting the social, historic, economic, and spiritual value of these resources. And whereas the Township of Montclair has a long history of being a sustainable community, in 1978, Montclair implemented the first townwide mandatory recycling program, almost a decade before New Jersey's Mandatory Recycling Act of 1987. For our many energy efficiency initiatives, in 2005, Montclair was awarded the first Municipal Clean Energy Leadership Award by the Office of Clean Energy of New Jersey's Board of Public Utilities. From 2005 through 2009, as part of the New Jersey State League of Municipalities Sustainable Communities program, Montclair was one of the few selected towns to earn certification as a sustainable community in 2009. In 2010, Montclair was honored as being designated by the U.S. EPA as a climate showcase community. For 20 years, the Montclair Office of Environmental Affairs has run a popular backyard composting program. In 2011, Montclair became the first town in the state to install a networked series of public charging stations for pluggable electric vehicles, along with commercial installations. And whereas in 2019, Montclair implemented the Sustainable Essex Alliance Energy Procurement Cooperative, an innovative electric aggregation program providing over 40% renewable energy resources for our electricity supply, yet reducing the rate residents pay for that supply, and eventually funding an energy efficiency outreach program to help our local ratepayers, particularly low-income and senior residents, to lower their KW demand and their utility bills. And whereas the mayor and council adopted an ordinance this year to reduce the hours of leaf blower use, right, to minimize the adverse impact of such equipment on the environment and to further protect the social welfare, health, peace, and quality of life in Montclair. And whereas this year, the week of April 17th, that's today, to April 25th, is designated as Earth Week, Restore Our Earth in Montclair, our community is fortunate to have over 22 events scheduled to commemorate this celebration, including educational programming on sustainability through Montclair State University and the Montclair Art Museum. The Northeast Earth Coalition will also be restoring a variety of events, including the coordination of over 350 volunteers who are celebrating Earth Day by pitching in to help clean our parks and public spaces. That's starting next week, I believe. Whereas the Township of Montclair recognizes that public and educational processes directed toward environmental improvement will help determine the quality of the environment and therefore the quality of life for the next generation, This makes the efforts of our local organizations and volunteers like yourself ever more essential at this time. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council of the Township of Montclair hereby designate the week of April 17th to April 25th, Earth Week in Montclair, and invite all residents to engage in service efforts to celebrate and protect our natural world. So this is going to be passed Tuesday. It's a nice proclamation. I'm going to hand it to Jose anyway. There we go. Take a nice picture of that. Hold that up. Yeah. I just want to say one other thing, that Gray Russell, who is retiring, as you know, Gray Russell's done a great job. Gray Russell, when I was mayor in 2003, sent me to a conference in San Francisco, which was called the Solar Cities Conference. And there is where I got very friendly with Mayor Jerry Brown of Oakland. He was the mayor of Oakland. I was the mayor of Montclair in 2003, and we sat there together and had this conference about solar energy. And I asked him about, how California seems to have a lot more sun than we do. But solar energy you can get even without a lot of sun. So we were talking about solar, and then when the last year I was mayor in 2004, we put $900,000 into a budget in the schools to get solar panels on our schools. Unfortunately, the next year it was taken out when I was not mayor anymore. But we did try to start doing solar energy. And I think back in 2003, even Police Chief Russo helped with this. It was the first natural gas vehicles. You'll remember this, Renee. We had we still have a couple of those cars where we used natural gas, not electricity or hybrid, natural gas for our parking authority people had a few cars run on natural gas. So we've been so far ahead for 20 years. Montclair's tried to make people understand that we have to get off of fossil fuels, use solar energy, use wind power, use alternative sources of energy. And this work here that you do at Crane Park is just wonderful. So I want to thank you all, praise you all, and I have to run to an Asian American Chinese event to deal with those issues and our community, our Asian American Pacific Islander community. But Jose, Renee, Chief Herrmann, I'm just going to turn it over to all of you. Just have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I'll be back with you next week to do some work for Earth Week. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
You keep that.
Yeah, very much appreciated.
Oh, one more thing is in here I need to keep. Wait a minute. One more thing. This note.
Okay. We acknowledge the presence of Chief Herrmann from the fire department, Dr. Renee Baskerville, who has been a big supporter of the park, and she's also a member of the Northeast Earth Coalition. Trina Paulus, which is a long life Montclair resident and also environmental activist, the queen of the butterfly. Lyle, Landon, representing the Environmental Commission of Montclair. Nancy Tajani, one of our board members, environmental activist and social justice activist. We also acknowledge Ellen Kelly from the Northeast Earth Coalition and Alice from the New Jersey Native Plant Society. Also Kate Albright from the Montclair Locker, and Ann Steyer from the Northeast Earth Coalition, another butterfly lover and environmentalist, an inspiration for many. Marcia, I didn't see you. I'm Marcia Almeida, representing two organizations, the Park Advisory Board and Recreation Advisory Board, also the Northeast Earth Coalition, and Made in Montclair. So I have a very short speech today, recalling the phrase, we don't have a plan B, we must act to protect our home. Each of us has an important role in maintaining the environment in a safe balance that allows us to secure our own existence. As a member of this community, each individual in Montclair has a duty to see that their action don't pollute the environment. Protecting the local environment cannot be left to the township government alone. If each individual substantially contributes, the effect will be felt not only in Montclair, but at the county, at state level, the national level, and finally around the world. Our actions really do matter. Much of what we do at home has environmental consequences. Treating your lawn with pesticides and other chemicals pollute the air, the soil, the water, and harms the health of your family, and even threaten the life of your pets. Our wasteful lifestyle also affects other communities. Most of the trash that we generate in town goes to the incinerator in Newark, where children are experiencing high rates of asthma and other respiratory conditions. The water that we pollute in Montclair doesn't remain in town. Tony Brooks and the Third River receive a large quantity of pollutants in the form of runoff of fertilizers and other chemicals from nearby yards, as well as discarded plastic and other trash. Our Montclair stream carries this pollutant to the Pason River, which delivers them to the ocean. It is time to do something for us, for our family, and for future generations. Thank you.
Woo-hoo! Yeah. Woo!
Would you like to say something, Chief?
Good morning, everyone. I'd just like to thank Ms. Almeida for inviting me here today to represent the fire department and the township, and doing such a wonderful job here. This park looks beautiful, and I just congratulate all of you for a job well done, and thank you again for having me here today. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Alice von Straalen. I'm the co-leader of the Essex chapter of the Native Plant Society. And we were so happy to partner with Northeast Earth Coalition last week, planting plants here in Crane Park. The mission of the Native Plant Society is simply to educate people about native plants. They're beautiful, easy to grow, and they rarely need to be watered after the first summer. It's no secret that we are rapidly losing birds, butterflies, and pollinators that have evolved here over thousands of years. Each of us can help by creating a wildlife sanctuary in our yards simply by choosing native plants. If you plant native plants in your garden, you will be enchanted by the increase in butterflies and birds that visit your garden. Next weekend, I'm delighted to tell you that you can purchase native plants at Morgan's Farm. It's on Pompton Avenue in Cedar Grove. They're having a native plant sale. On May 7th and 8th, we are having a spring garden tour at 2 locations in Montclair. Just see me for the details. I'll give them to you personally. And I just want to say that Crane Park is a model of how a small urban park can restore native habitat, and everyone can so easily participate, and the park is so welcoming to the community. You can access it from everywhere, you can walk through, you can meet people, and you can also meet all the native plants that belong here in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Renee, you have been a leader in this community. Would you like to address the audience since you have been part of the Crane Park, for the very beginning?
Yes. Thank you very much, Jose. I remember in 2008 when this park was just a blight, an eyesore, and people that were going to get the train station didn't even want to walk through this park. And through the transformation over the years, yes, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Gray Russell as one of our early environmentalists that brought things to our attention. But definitely when Jose came along and he took ownership for this park, we began to see things improving, not just here in Crane Park, Jose, but all over Montclair and in our individual homes. He was teaching us about planting things and the pollinator garden here and those important things. But even more important to me was the fact that he was teaching us about the environmental transformation working with the spiritual transformation. From inside out, as you begin to transform your inner spirit and understand the importance of all these environmental things, they begin to come as second nature to you and will be a stronger Montclair and stronger as individuals. So I stand here today grateful for you and all of the people that came before to make this happen. Certainly the Environmental Commission, certainly Mr. William Scott and Bobby Schlafer, who in 2008 came to this park with myself, and alone we started to try to make some improvements. And I want to thank you and wish everybody, all of my brothers and sisters that celebrate Ramadan Mukaran. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Renee. Nevertheless, there is always a person in the group of volunteers, which is, the person behind the scene, and he's incredible, modest and humble, and he doesn't want to talk. But this project, without David Wasmuth, will be not possible. David has a passion for gardening and native plants and wildlife habitat, and has inspired so many people. So David, come over and say hello to the community and the importance of this park.
Well, this is a surprise. I didn't know I was on the agenda, but I want to thank everyone for showing up and showing your support. And again, as people were saying, I think this park is a model of what a few volunteers can do to transform an area. It didn't take a lot of people, but it took a little bit of dedication, and it took the idea and the decision to see, well, this is an area that needs some work, let's do it. And in the process, we've been educating ourselves about using native plants, about creating wildlife habitat. We even have demonstration vegetable gardens here as well. So this is a place where people can come and see. It can be a model for other spaces in the community and for what you can do at home. So again, thank everyone for turning up, and thank you for your support. And I hope you carry away some inspiration from this about things that you can do in the community or in your home to improve the environment. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And the park has been already recognized. It's a wildlife habitat, certified habitat by the National Wildlife Federation. It's a Xerxes monarch butterfly weight station. It's also it was nominated to the prestigious environmental award, the Ethic Land Use. And we didn't win, but the fact that we were nominated to that prestigious award is meaning a lot for Montclair. So the name of Montclair was very high that night with this little park. And we didn't win because we were the smallest project. So other people were doing so immense, things that it was impossible to win. But thank you for everything. And Trina, you are here. Trina is, the butterfly queen. Come over, Trina, and say hello to your fans.
Well, I'm certainly not expecting this one. Okay, thank you, everybody. I feel so supported. This is my adopted community. I've now been in my house for 40 years, and the house just needs all kinds of attention, which I just had to give it. And we hope to put some traps for the squirrels in the attic today, and then release them, of course. But I'm so glad for this park, and don't you think it looks beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. Those yellow tulips are just the right thing. And thank you.
All right. And there is two people who has been present all the time in Crane Park. Let's start with Ann Steyer. Ann, come over. Ann has been a lifelong time also Montclair resident. Now she lives in Verona, but she grew up here and graduated from Montclair High School. And she's an environmentalist. So Ann, say hello.
Oh, hello everyone. I hope this still works. It's so wonderful to see this park come alive this way, and it is spectacular. When Jose was posting pictures of this art installation, it reminded me of the Gates installation in Central Park, because these colors are the same, and it's absolutely magnificent on a gray, cloudy day. So good job. This is spectacular. Thank you.
Great. Come over, please. Greg Pason is a community activist. He's into so many good causes, but one of them from the beginning, the very beginning, was restoring this park. We have pictures proving that. He was one of the first volunteers coming here to do work. Also getting volunteers for the park all the time. So it's your turn.
Well, thank you, Jose. I think I officially met Jose working on this park, officially introduced so many years ago, it seems like. And it's so beautiful now. Every Monday, we bring a group from an organization in Montclair called Montclair Mutual Aid. And one of the major projects for us was working on the community gardens in Crane Park. And we're planting, we're bringing people together. We had people who had never introduced to parks before that learned so much from Jose. And this is an incredible project, and I think this park just brings people together. So thank you, Jose.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your hard work. Anyone who wants to say something? Nancy, Ellen, you. Perfect. Lyle, Landon from the Environmental Commission of Montclair.
Hi. I just want to say thank you to Jose, and thank you to all of you who have been up at the microphone, because you have given leadership. Without people interested in following you, that's not leadership, and you have really provided real leadership, because look at the number of people that have come out and the organizations that you represent. That is the will of the people, and that's really what makes things happen. You have that sort of demonstrated with the plastic bag ban that went into effect. We had 120 municipalities across the state that passed their own plastic bag bans, and now, of course, it's going to be a state law coming into effect in May of 22, and in November of 21, it's only straws on request. Without that grassroots enthusiasm, the state would have taken forever to pass that. And I can tell you, when I go to New Jersey DEP meetings, this is what they say. It's a secret. Don't wait for the state. Don't wait for the state. Do it now. Do it in your community. Show leadership. And that's what all of you have done. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Before we close the event, let me explain to you what is going on this week in Montclair. Tomorrow, virtually, we will have a webinar about the importance of growing your own food at home. It will be at noon and will be ending around 1:30. This webinar is co-sponsored by the Trumbull City in Connecticut. So it will be transmitted from there, actually transmitted from Montclair, but in coordination with them. On Monday, we have a gathering at Mount Carmel Community Garden at 10 a.m. with the volunteers. It's an opportunity to celebrate the Earth Day week. And then on Wednesday, another group from Bergen County Community College, they will be coming to learn about community garden and pollinator gardens and other things important for the community. Friday, we are repeating the same program, and Saturday will be the big events with 22 locations doing cleanups. We have more than 350 volunteers already signing for that event. And on Sunday, we continue with the cleanups in different parks. I encourage you to go to our website and then see the program, because all the events and time and location are posted there. Any question? This is the time. So thank you for your attention and coming in here and joining during the celebration, and keep in touch to continue, supporting other projects in the community. Thank you.
Thank you.